Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Dino Mosquera, and let's square up politics. Utah governor confirms Charlie Kirk shooting suspect lived with trans partner. Utah Republican Governor Spencer Cox confirmed Sunday that the 22-year-old man accused of killing far-right commentator Charlie Kirk was living with his transgender partner. During an interview on CNN's State of the Union with Dana Bash, Cox said suspect Tyler Robinson was romantically involved with his roommate, a trans woman. He said, quote, "Yes, I can confirm that. I know that he has been reported and that the FBI has confirmed that as well, that the roommate was a romantic partner, a male transitioning to female," end of quote. The governor stressed that Robinson's partner had no role in the crime and is incredibly cooperative. I had no idea that this was happening and is working with investigators right now, end of quote. Cox urged caution when speculating about Robinson's motive. He said, quote, "I know everybody wants to know exactly why I'm pointing the finger, and I totally get that. I do too, and so I just want to be careful as I haven't read all of the interview transcript, and so we'll have to wait and see what comes out," end of quote. That did not stop the ultra-right-wing social media world from exploding on trans community. Charges against Robinson are expected on Tuesday. Earlier in the week, the Wall Street Journal retracted a report that falsely claimed transgender ideology was engraved on shell casings from the crime scene. Instead, Cox said the inscriptions reference an anti-fascist Italian song and the internet memes. In the aftermath of Kirk's death, right-wing voices quickly blamed transgender people. Donald Trump Jr. even claimed that trans people were, quote, worse than terrorists, end of quote. But research shows trans people are far more likely to be victims of violence than perpetrators. And despite the political scapegoating, they account for less than 1% of mass shootings in the U.S. Here we have, these people are so willing to find some little angle in the right wings to point out that this happens to be a white kid from a Republican family, gun owners, gun nuts. I mean, the whole shebang. But just because he lived with a transgender person, well, even if he had feelings with a transgender person, until he proved has nothing to do with this. And the president of the United States just come out and just blur it out without proof, without nothing. And there was something about the casing says, I think it was TRN or something like that. And they misinterpreted that as a trans and that he was sending a message with the
they were totally
bullets. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's irresponsible. Let's talk about reconciliation. I mean, this is the first thing that comes out of the president of the United States. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, the same way. So divisive.
And the Vice President, all of them. They're all saying it's left wing,
and blaming the whole community. They're blaming the whole entire community.
Can we just remember that like January 6th? Hello. Yeah. And the Minnesota, the Minnesota representative who was just shot.
Right. Melissa Hortman.
I mean, thank you, Melissa Hortman. And so it's so mind-boggling and it's so frustrating, and you think, well, what can we do when they have such a hold on the narrative? Yeah. It's so frustrating.
Like, we're always afraid when there's anybody from our community involved in something like that.
Like, oh, no, you're right, don't breathe.
Right?
It's like, oh, please don't.
Please don't be. You know what I mean? Here's the truth, that trans people are way more likely to be the victims of violence than the ones actually pulling triggers, all right? So Donald Jr. can call us worse than terrorists, but facts don't lie. Hate does. Less than 1% of folks that have even committed such a harsh, awful crime have been trans or LGBTQ. And they're usually white, cisgendered men, like 88%. Something crazy like that. But they're not even talking about
Well, they don't care about facts. They don't care about facts. Facts mean nothing. They're trying to rewrite the facts of the narrative. Not trying to, they are rewriting the facts.
They're canonizing this guy. They're basically canonizing this guy. The media is making it out to be.
He's a martyr.
Like he's a martyr.
Yeah. I mean, I never expected to be completely honest, folks, I had no idea who this man was a week ago. Okay, to me, he was just another maggot screaming his stuff about Trump. I did not know who he was, you know, and now it's causing me to delete friends on my feed. How did we get here? You know what I mean?
I mean, we all this, we know that violence is not the answer, period, full stop. Period,
100%.
full stop.
Right.
But this was not a saint by any means or an angel.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
No.
it's just such a,
This is just spreading false information and just attacking, you know, the LGBTQ plus community, you know, and just looking for any type of an excuse to really just, basically, I think that we are just at a really crossroads here with all of this. You know, it's just really frightening.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you don't even know if you're getting the right story for some people.
for any of it.
For any of
For any of it.
You know, and like, you know, who it's just mind-boggling that this is where we are in a country.
And it's moving people around the world. This weekend they had protests in the UK protecting basically the, you know, freedom of speech and all that. This is basically the,
Yeah, but
the
the UK
extreme
is a
right.
mess too.
The
We're going to talk
extreme-
about UK. The UK is a mess too.
Well, and they were and
they started it all, colonizers.
They were chanting Charlie Kirk, and in Japan and places like this where he's becoming the symbol of the extreme right. What the?
No, that is effing.
Yeah, and this is the time that we need the leaders to be lowering the temperature, and that is not happening.
No, it's
Not.
getting
And that's what's so alarming.
it's getting scary.
Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.